Albert Einstein was attributed this, and it's compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Compound interest is a really interesting math equation, and I love numbers. I'm really good with math. I've always been really good with math. So this concept has always really made sense to me. So I'll try to break it down for you. That way if you're not good with math, you can understand it. The idea of compound interest is so interesting because it takes the money that you have. Let's say you have $100. It takes that money and then it adds the interest to it. So now you make 10% interest off of the $100. That's $110 now. And now for the next year, you have $110 invested as opposed to only $100. So if you make 10% off of that, you're not making $10, you're making $11. That's a 10% increase in what you made from the year before. And this just continues to grow and grow and grow. So then the next year, you have $121 invested. And then that 10% would be $12.10. You can see how this could pick up so quickly if you're making 10% a year, which is the average rate of return on the S&P for the last since almost 100 years now, since the 1930s. Compound interest really is the eighth wonder of the world because it is the principle that patient people get. If you are patient, you will win if you can apply compound interest to whatever you're doing. So money, I think, makes the most sense to me because it can just grow so quickly. I bring up the Dave Ramsey calculator all the time, the Dave Ramsey investment calculator all the time, because I think it's such a powerful tool to show you what compound interest can do. So let's say you are 20 years old and in 40 years, you're going to be 60 and you only put $100 in and you never contribute another dollar. So all you had to do was invest $100 one time, and over the course of 40 years, if you never touched it, and you made 10% every single year, you would make $5,369, which means $5,269 is growth because you didn't do anything because you were patient and you touched it. And now that's only $100. Consider if you could add another $100 on top of that every single month, you would have $637,775. That is only contributing $48,000 over the course of 40 years. That's no money. That's $1,000 a year, basically. And for the average American with an average salary, making an extra $100 a month is as simple as just cutting out, going out to eat, and that's it. That's all you have to invest. And you could become a millionaire just by doing this very basic thing. But this goes so much deeper than just money. Money to me is what makes the most sense, and you can see the numbers get so big. It's a chart. It's an increasing at an increasing rate type of chart. So if you understand what that looks like, at the very bottom, it looks like it's dead flat going parallel with the x-axis. And then as you continue, it'll get to a point where it looks like it's going parallel with the y-axis because it's increased so dramatically. That's what compound interest does for you. That's how you can become a millionaire, leave your kids a legacy that they can then leave their kids, and you can have generational wealth. But this, again, it applies to more than just money. If you're taking this with a business or you're taking this with anything, compound interest is what compound interest is. For example, let's say, I'll give you another example in my life. Compound interest with a YouTube channel. You put in all this money up front, and it doesn't grow that much. Over 4 years, let's go back to the calculator. And if over 4 years you invested $100 and then you invested $100 monthly at 10%, you would only have $6,021, having invested $4,800. So at that point, that's not much. I mean, yeah, you made $1,100, but is that really going to change your life? No. So that's the thing with compound interest is it takes time. So in my life, let's take the YouTube channels. For the first year of the YouTube channel, the first 6 months, I was stuck at about 200 subscribers on my Techno Eclipse channel. In the next 6 months, I grew to 1,000. And then so that was the first year I grew 1,000. And in the last 6 months on that channel, when I was posting, I grew the most I'd ever grown over the course of the entire channel's life. Over a 6-month period, I grew 3,500 subscribers, the most I'd ever grown on that channel in any 6-month stretch. That's what compound interest can do for you. It takes a long time before you get to reap the rewards of the compound interest. You don't get that vertical line until it seems like the very end, but that's what it can do for you. So if it's weightlifting, there's going to be a period of time where I'm not making any progress. My body doesn't look any bigger, and then one day you'll see it, and then the progress will just on top of that it'll continue to compound. Same thing with getting good at a sport with golf. It was the same thing for me. I was bad, and then one day I just sort of clicked, and it wasn't all at once. Looking back, it did sort of happen gradually. Maybe it felt like more parallel or more of just a straight line. But then you look at the scores, and it really is kind of an increasing rate, because you learn things and you can apply those things and those swing thoughts to your swing today, even though that this is that and this is that. That's how life works. Is compounding interest is, without a doubt, the single most important tool that you could ever learn beyond money, beyond anything in your entire life. If you want to be a good dad, you have to put in the work every single day, and you're not going to see that reward until they're 25 and they're better people than you. That's what you want. You want to hold your kids up while you sit in the mud and they improve their lives. That you want their lives to be better than your life. That's what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to pick our kids up and put them above us. I talk about Atlas a lot, how he holds up the world, and I've always mentioned that as a father holding up the world for his family. That's what it should be. It's probably the allegory, but I don't really know that much about Greek mythology. I know a few things, but I don't know that. So anyways, the compound interest, just remember that is a remarkably powerful tool.